Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever you are. This is Take the Points.
A true underdog podcast. How we doing, baby?
I mean, does it get better? Does it get better than these Tigers right now?
Come on, bro.
Unbelievable, dude. Absolutely unreal.
We are fresh off. Steve and I literally just jumped on 30 seconds ago, fresh off the Tigers sweeping the fucking Red Sox.
Fuck Alex Bregman too, by the way.
Yeah,
fuck
dude.
that guy.
Damn it, he's good. Damn it, he's good though.
He's so good, but still fuck him. Like, no, honestly, the whole we're just gonna jump right into it.
Yeah,
I know you,
fine.
Robbie, in typical Robbie fashion, you probably have a
set
set agenda and things we need to talk about. But I'm not going that route.
My agenda is Tigers and Lions, and that's what we're talking about tonight. But
schedule drop. What, an hour ago?
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, yep.
So yeah, I mean. Fuck Alex Bregman. The guy, to think a couple months ago, we were sitting here saying, oh man, Tigers threw the bag at him. It didn't work out. We needed to be more aggressive in the offseason, whatever. And the response from AJ Hinch and the Tigers has been, if you don't want to be here, we'll beat you. And they have lived up to that.
Yeah.
Best record in the league. Best record in baseball.
Yeah. It's Steve, and I know you and I sat on here on this pod and talked about it. Remember? We were like,
oh yeah.
Remember, it was like Bregman or bust. And I was like, they backed themselves into a corner, which again, there's still inefficiencies and deficiencies on this team. But what this group of guys is a fucking team. Like,
it's incredible.
It's like, even tonight, I don't know if you felt this way watching this game. And it's like, we get in the 8th, we get in the 9th. It's like, I'm starting to get that feeling where I expect them to do something incredible. Yeah. Like, I expect them to stay in the game. Like, it's no, like, Ibanez comes in in the 9th to pinch hit, and I'm expecting him to get on base. Like, yeah. It was like, that's just like, when that starts to become an expectation versus like, oh, gee golly, like, this is great. Like, we got lucky today. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like that. I think Hinch has these guys believing like, no, there's no luck. We're creating, right? Like, we're creating our own opportunity for success. This isn't luck. And I think that's the difference to me. Like, I'm probably, and Steve, you know me well enough at this point. I'm fearful.
I feel like I do.
I'm fearful of like ruining this moment of like what's going on with the Tigers as if I say they're really good, but just like, I'm just at the mode now of like, fuck it. Like, we just got to lean in and enjoy it. Like, there's no other way around it. We just got to lean in and enjoy it. Yeah,
man. Like, stop and smell the roses, dude. Like, this is great.
Like, didn't this feel like a playoff series against Boston? It like great baseball.
Great crowd.
All the way around.
Look, it's Wednesday. It's a Wednesday night in May. And Metro Detroit weather is iffy. You get the tickets to this game knowing Boston's in town, or if it's on your season ticket package. Yeah. You don't know if you're going to go to this game. You don't know if it's going to be piss rain tonight and 55 degrees or if it's going to be 88. Yeah. And look at the crowd tonight. Electric. And it's a new hero in Justin Henry Malloy.
But it's every night though, right? It's the Baez redemption tour. Like, buddies keep busting my balls on that. But like, I'm also like, okay, sure, but no one ever expected Javi Baez to be doing what he's doing now, nor do I think he will continue at that pace. But like, you take it when you got it, right? It's like, that's how this game goes, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you mean something like this?
Javi Baez homered earlier. First one in the air, deep left field again. Yes, Tigers win.
Yes, sir.
Just an unreal. Talk about a comeback.
Yeah.
Talk about a comeback. I don't know how to get this off. Okay, there we go.
No, that was a one great Benetti money call.
Dickerson, I tried to find the Dickerson one, but
both like those two guys are just great. But like I would say
we're lucky to have those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. The last 3 games of baseball that I've watched these last 3 nights have been maybe 3 of the most entertaining, exciting, and most fun I've had watching baseball in a long time. Yeah. Like, even I look at the playoffs last year with the Tigers, that was house money. That it just was a different feel then. You were like waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is now like, we're not 10 games into this fucking season. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're in the middle of
50
April.
games in almost. This is crazy.
we're in the middle of April. Like, and I got to give, like, Steve, if we just take a step back of like, sure, we can listen, Tigers are going to go in rut. They're going to win some, they're going to lose some. Like, it is what it is. But AJ Hinch to me has been absolutely incredible. And I was texting Billy today and I said, AJ Hinch now is on Dan Campbell levels for me, if not have like his ability to coach a team and create a culture. You want to talk gritty Lions, like gritty Tigers. I mean, there's been nothing like it, like it's just, you can feel his energy on this team. Guys playing all over the field, like Ibanez and Malloy win the game tonight. 2 guys off the bench, cold off the bench, facing Chapman throwing 103, just yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, it's crazy. There's so much to say.
I know.
It's crazy that this Dan Campbell effect, and maybe you can call it the Dan Campbell effect or whatever, but just that type of mentality and how well it hits, whether it be the city or just athletes in general, right? That player type of coach.
Yeah.
And like, hey, you guys all got to buy in, and I'm going to get you there.
Yeah.
And it's a miracle that it happens, I think, in general in sports, but for it to happen basically on 3 of our teams this year, because look at the Pistons, dude, same thing. This is a team that won 14 games last year. Yeah. And I know we've done plenty of Pistons talks, so we're not going to spend much time here, but the similarities between the Pistons, the Tigers, and the Lions.
It's one word.
It's uncanny.
It's one word, dude. It's
grit, dude, and it is grit. 100%.
Steve, I'm thinking probably one of your favorite movie, Remember the Titans.
Predator. Shit, no. Predator is one of my favorite movies.
Fact.
I have a picture of it on my wall back here. If you can see, you probably can't, but it's Arnold and Carl Weathers shaking hands. Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
All right, I've fucking derailed us.
This is not Coach Carter, so we're not going Wilson style, but one of my favorite lines is Remember the Titans is when he says attitude reflects leadership. And like, that is what you have in this team. Like, the attitude of this team is coming from the leadership of AJ Hinch, from Dan Campbell on the Lions, and from JB Bickerstaff on the Pistons. Like, you see it, and you look at a franchise like the Red Wings that I don't see that from their coach. I don't see that from their GM. Like, you don't feel it. It's
right.
You can't describe it. You just can see it and intuitively like feel it. Like, look at this last 80 game run the Tigers have been on. 85 games
Incredible.
From the middle of last year. That's half of a season. That's over half a season now.
They're playing 650 ball.
Right. Which you can say, sure, fluke last year. It'll never be done again with the pitching staff. Fine. I agree. That's probably once in a generation thing with the bullpen days and chaos and all that. Yeah. But like and I will admit it. I was super critical of the lack of offseason moves from this team. Could not have been more critical of Scott Harris on everything that they did and didn't do. And remember, we even said stay around 500 until Meadows and Beerling get back, and we're okay. Like, just hover around there.
And you're killing it.
And they're killing it. And you got to give, like, Baez last night. Like, do I think Javi Baez is some great player now? Like,
no.
Do I still think his contract extremely inflated? 100%.
But he's producing, and not only at the plate, right? Like, his numbers. I looked at his numbers last night. He's got 8 home runs, I think, on the year, or 6 home runs, or something like that. 27 RBIs, 390. He's hitting 319. The strikeouts are still there, but you got the average, you got the power, and that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
When we signed him. But on top of that, this motherfucker's playing center field.
And he's
good. He's played center fielder.
He's played, like, the fact that we were dead in center field. We lost 3 center fielders in the first week.
We're sitting here saying, what are we going to do in center field? And Javi Baez is just like, I got you. And this is where this is almost like retro Javi Baez of the Cubs, right? When this got like this extreme athleticism was coming into play, and you're seeing it take shape here, where this guy can do it all. You could, and AJ Hinch was on the radio this morning. He said I could probably put him at catcher and he'd do fine.
Yeah. Versus Rafael Devers on Boston, great hitter, but is like, fuck you. I'm not. Nope. You want me to play first? Nope. Then you want me to play third because Bregman's coming? Nope. Not doing that. Screw you. I'm only
just DHing. I know.
It's like, and he's a great hitter, obviously, clearly. Like, but but imagine that in your clubhouse. Imagine now, granted, Baez is better than Devers is, so he's got a little bit more clout. But imagine a guy like Torque or somebody or Riley Green being like, nope, like he wouldn't be here anymore. Like they would not put up with that.
Sure.
It never even would be a discussion for the Tigers at this point.
100%. And so, I do really want to go back to you dropped that quote from Remember the Titans, but another quote that I think encompasses this team, which is from the movie Predator, is if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Ooh,
and that's what Arnold said. That, and that's the mentality. If there's a weakness, we'll find it. Yep. And look at the way they're beating teams. Andy Ibanez and Justin Henry Malloy against Aroldis Chapman,
who throws like 109 miles an hour.
If you would have woken me up this morning and said, hey, it's going to be down to these two guys in the bottom of the ninth against Chapman, I'd have been like, ugh, that's...
Yeah, they're not...
Maybe. I mean, there's a chance, but that's all they need is that chance, and it plays.
And Hinch, I think the best thing about Hinch, win or lose, whatever, is he continues to put guys in the right situation to be successful. Look at tonight. He held Ibanez the entire game for that moment. Like, he clearly held that the entire night for that moment. I was at, even last night, you look like, I think it was Kerry Carpenter, who, like, it's these pinch hits that are happening is like, he has a guy ready to go. That's like, oh, we got a lefty, like, whatever the matchup is, he's got one more guy on his bench ready to hit always. And it's
not blowing his load too early.
Right. And that's a problem for a lot of people, you know. Maybe
it happens a lot. It
happens to the best. You know. But like, look at Andy Ibanez last year. Led majors in pinch hits. He had like 12 hits in all of his pinch hits last year. He is just masterful in the way that he hits lefties, right? Like that's what's made him so great. And tonight he comes in, you know, and then look at all what happened there in the ninth. It would have been so easy to just give in there, right? You get a guy on third with no outs. There's 17 minutes of just in between time, which was
desperation
ridiculous.
From Alex Cora. Absolute desperation for him to try to challenge Andy Ibanez going back to first. And I love how fast they confirmed that call. They're just like, nah, dude.
No, we good. Yeah. Like, no. Which I get. You got to do that. Also, I got to dog the broadcast a little bit tonight, Steve. I don't know if you were watching. You might have been putting the kids to bed, but there was that home run. What would have been a home run ball that Carpenter hit, and then it got, you know, the Boston guy kind of tipped it back into the infield, and the center fielder caught the ball. They showed the replay 37 times of like, wow, what a catch! Like, can we just move on from it? I don't need to see I just don't need to see the plays 37 times. Like, can we just move on? Because it was just so much. But anyways, just an awesome couple games. I was at the game on Monday night, which was a 9-run third inning. It was insane.
Awesome.
I've never seen an inning like that in my life. I don't know if I ever will.
You're sitting in that presidential club or whatever those seats are right behind home plate.
Right. Dude, they were packed tonight. It was like every night they've been packed. It's been crazy. Too, it's the greatest. It's their best starts in 1984. And again, it's early and all that. I get it. It's just like when I worry about the jinx. I'm just trying to enjoy the moment, man. Yeah. That's all I'm trying to do here. Enjoy
the moment. But remember this too, man, is water will find its level.
For sure.
Is this team as good as their record? Maybe not, but they're pretty damn close, I think.
Yeah.
And they've been able to sustain this for, like you said, the last 40 games of last season and the first, 50 almost of this season. That's a good chunk of games. And now, even if they do kind of level out more towards that 500, they have enough of a cushion built up right now that they're going to be a playoff team. And as long as they stay consistent and bring this mentality to the playoffs, you're going to have another and again, making a move at the deadline, which is, we can talk about that now, is making what do the Tigers do to absolutely have to be buyers at the deadline, right? But these are things that are going to set us up for another hopefully deep playoff run.
Yeah.
Regardless of the slumps that are bound to come, because you're going to get a 10-game stretch where you're going to go 3-7 or whatever it is. You're going to drop 2 or 3 series in a row.
Scooble gave up 5 runs tonight. He didn't have a great. He had a good game, but not to a Scooble level, right?
He had a bad inning.
Seventh inning blew up on him. Jack Flaherty's been not great this year. Casey Mize on the DL or injured list, whatever, with that hammy. Like, there's Jackson Jobs had his up and downs. Like, look at that series against the series we just played against Texas, right? We beat them that first game, which was incredible, right? Scooble was ridiculous. And then you lose 2 in a row. And it's like, oh, God, the wheels are falling off. And this team comes out and sweeps the Red Sox. That big name, whatever it is. I mean, and here's the thing, Steve. You talk about the Central coming in. The Central was supposed to be a joke, right? Like,
Cleveland's nipping on our heels, man. We have the best record in the league, and Cleveland's 3 games behind us. Kansas City, I think, is 3 games behind us.
How about Minnesota's won 10 in a row? Did you know that? They run 10 in a row.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you got Cleveland's 25 and 18, 3.5 back. Kansas City's 25 and 19, 4 back. Minnesota's 5.5 back. They've won 10 in a row. But you look at the last 10, Tigers 8 and 10, Cleveland 6 and 4, Royals 7 and 3. Like, this division is loaded right now. Even if the Tigers were hovering around 500 in the division right now, they would be chasing Cleveland's tail here. You know what I mean? Like, this is why you never apologize for a win, and you take the wins when you can get them.
Well, of course.
These are the wins that matter. Like, look at the Red Wings when they didn't make the playoffs, right? Those games in, you know what I mean? Like January, those early games when you're like, man, we blew that lead. Like, those come back to matter at the end of the year in baseball. You know how it works out. Game 160 generally matters. It matters. So these walk-off wins and the ones you win and the ones that you lose, like, I don't know. And the biggest thing for me, too, Tigers are plus 86 in run differential. Next closest team is the Mets, and they're 20 behind them. I mean,
that's crazy.
It starts with starting pitching for this team, too. Like, the bullpen's been great. Like, they've done all the small things right. And Steve, I don't know if you feel like this. They're playing the same way they did at the end of last year. This is not some new way the Tigers are playing. It's
100%.
Ever since that Yankees game last year, when remember the Tigers played the Yankees at
Field of Dreams?
Yeah, the Williamsport thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And Tigers were down in the 9th. They came back and tied it. I think Parker Meadows ends up winning it or whatever in the 10th. From that point on, that was the turning point.
Something clicked.
Like, Meadows went down, then he came back up and turned into like an insane player. And him and Vierling aren't even up right now.
Him and Vierling aren't up. And then again, what's the word? The comeback stories. I'm trying to find a synonym for comeback story. It's Torque. I mean, again, go back this time last year. We were talking about Torque's a bust. Yeah. Casey Mize is a bust. Those are 2 guys. I think I said it verbatim. Those are 2 guys that you had number 1 overall picks on that aren't contributing to your core and has killed the rebuild.
And we're fighting for their major league careers this year. Both of them.
Yeah. Who was that? Did Torque call you? Was that him calling? Was that AJ?
Yes. Yeah. He was. Javi said, "Thanks for watching. Sorry, I couldn't hit a fly ball in the ninth."
That's cool. Tell him we good. We Gucci, Javi.
How hard was Javi swinging in the ninth to try to get?
He wanted that back-to-back hero moment. Which again, dude, you can't. Yeah. I would have swung out of my nutsack, dude.
I mean, if Wilson was here, he would have said he would have been patient, waited for the perfect.
Of course, yeah. Wilson would have been. He would have known.
I easily would have hit a fly ball, no problem. I would have hit it on the first pitch.
Chapman would have been tipping his pitches to him or something. But no, Torque too. Torque and Casey Mize, again, 2 comeback stories that are, just you really love to see it, and it makes me wonder too. I don't know what else you wanted to talk about, but I love thinking forward a little bit to what we're going to do at this trade deadline.
Yeah, we're going to have options.
We're going to have a lot of options. We're going to be buyers. Here's the thing: is we have a couple guys who can play first base, a couple guys who can play second base, a couple guys who can play third, a couple guys who can play center, and a handful of guys that can DH.
Yeah.
Right. Where do you add here? Because you're going to have to, when you add, somebody's going to have to go. Who's the odd man out? Is it Vierling? Is it Justin Henry Malloy? I probably would say. Yeah. But even then, Malloy's not getting everyday reps, right? He's kind of that bench player. So
he's your fifth outfielder at this point.
And it makes me wonder do you add somebody who is looking for that type of retribution story, right? Yeah. Somebody on the downslope. Somebody who had a kind of a fall from grace. I think of I don't know how, I know Bo Bichette had a bad year last year. I haven't really followed how much he's doing this year, but
yeah, I
don't think Toronto's going to pay him. They just gave Vlad that big deal.
Yeah.
He could be a guy that comes in and just, is this contagious, right? Where you plug him in at third base.
Yeah.
Right. And now you're like, okay, we got something going, and Bo Bichette starts to rejuvenate his career here a little bit. Rejuvenate's the word I was looking for earlier.
Great word.
Thank you.
Word.
Yeah, good Scrabble score.
Yeah. I mean, I think, Steve, when I think about the deadline, too, is obviously we know we got a ways to go. Is it July 1st, something like that? I don't know when the deadline is. Somewhere around there. We're probably about 6 weeks out, something like that.
Yeah.
7 weeks
July
out.
July 31st, I think.
Okay, so we got
some time. We got some time.
Yeah, we got more time than that. But I think there's two trains of thought, right? One is, okay, like let's just say injuries aside, whatever, we go and like let's say the team is today as it is then with Meadows and Bierling back. I think you do got to think about, right, what's that move we have to make? Like I think of some of the moves the Tigers have made in the past, like under Dombrowski. Like remember when they went out and got Omar Infante and
I was going to say Omar Infante. Those were great moves.
Two great moves, right? Infante ended up being a good second baseman. He could hit for average.
Yep.
And obviously Sanchez ended up being a much better player than I think even Dombrowski thought he was going to be when they acquired him. But that move was an already strong team. But I think, like, if you look at if Meadows and Bierling were to get called up today, right, the guys that are going to get sent down, like it was going to be Jace Young who got sent down. Like it would be Baddoo and Malloy would go down right now, and that would be it. It's once you go beyond that and you start making moves, now you're at the point of, okay, who's going to be the one to go, like an Andy Ibanez, but he loves pinch hitting him. Like this is where
you can't.
Like this is where you're going to have tough options. Zach McKinstry,
I was going to say Zach McKinstry, a utility knife.
Right, Javi Baez would have been.
Trey Sweeney might be a guy that goes down. He's had a good.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a bad year by any means. He's been a good
hot.
player.
He's been hot these last
but
like week and a half. But
then you have to start. Is it better to have? And part of it too. Again, you want to make sure you're not. I feel like there's a delicacy to this whole thing.
100%.
Right? 100%. Is Javi thriving in these new roles? If you move him back to shortstop, does he start?
100%. I agree.
You don't want to. Not that I think that it's different. Hitting and fielding is very different, but does he get comfortable there again and then fall into some other habits that are comfortable for him?
I think he is more comfortable in center field, don't you? I think he's got to think less and just or either that or he's thinking more about playing center and it's taken his eye off or his pressure off his at bats. It's something. He just looks more natural to me out there too.
Yeah. I think it's the latter. I think it's when you take on a new challenge. It's like getting a new job, getting a new anything, right? And like trying to figure that out. You feel very much more in tune with everything because you're putting a lot of energy towards something new, and it frees your thought process around. You're not thinking so much on the other pieces around you, and you're just doing what comes natural to you. So I don't know. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not quite a pro athlete. Didn't quite get that far, so I can't speak to it. We need Wilson. Okay. We need Wilson's opinion.
True. We need a true. Although Wilson didn't even know that the Phoenix Suns went to the NBA Finals, which was a tough look for him. On that was not.
Pod. Yeah, that was. I listened, and then
that was tough.
My jaw hit my.
Would you have, Steve? Would you have immediately known? Like they obviously went to the finals. You were like, well,
I think I could. Okay. Yeah, I could probably name every NBA championship for every NBA champion for the last 30 years.
I love that about you. I love that.
Yeah, sorry for the train.
Is that a little train in the back?
Yeah,
it is. Is that the Tigers train coming through? Is that what that is?
It could be. It might also be the 11 and 6 train coming through on the Lions schedule.
Okay. So
I'm hot as balls in this room, so I had to
it is window no. It's okay. I have the fan going here. So yeah, on the Tigers, we'll see as the deadline gets closer. We'll figure it out. Like at this point for me, it's when are we getting Bierling back? When are we getting Meadows back?
Yeah.
They got a day off tomorrow. They got a series with Toronto coming up this weekend. They got a big series next weekend over Memorial Day with Cleveland. That'll be a nice.
That'll be good. Is that home? Or is that it is? Yeah. Oh, that's going to be a good week. Are you going to those games?
I have tickets on Friday and Monday, but I'm going to be up north, so I think I'm going to be selling those bad boys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not giving them to your fellow podcast mates.
Do you want to go to a game? I'll gladly give you 2 tickets if you want to go.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know
let me know. Let me know.
But yeah.
Anyways, so big end of the day, I think we're surprised. It's been really fun to watch. This has just rejuvenated me on Tigers baseball. And you and I have always been, more than most people, we have stuck through this team through thick and thin, even if we criticize. We've been there for the bad years. Now that they're playing well again, I'm not some bandwagon that's jumping on, nor do I really care at this point. Like, you want to jump on. But it's like, we've seen the hardships of this team, and when you watch them night in, night out, there's nothing you can say but just like respect for the players. I don't know about you. Last night watching Hobby, and trust me, I booed him on opening day. I busted his balls ever since he's been here.
Yeah, same.
Seeing him like welcome that Gatorade bath last night, like you can't.
You love it. You love to see it.
Like, am I like overly cheering for Hobby? Like, he's my favorite Tiger? No, but am I like appreciative of what he's?
I'm cheering out of my shoes for him.
Actually, who is your Tiger? That's a great question.
Ooh, that is a great question.
Who is your Tiger?
I will say, I just want to acknowledge what you mentioned. I think you and I are very much cut from the same cloth. Where I've watched no less than 70 Tigers games every season set in my entire adult life.
No matter how bad they've been in the days of
seasons, all of them.
Willie and Harold Castro hitting back to back 4 or 5 in the lineup.
dude, I just just so bad. The Jordan Zimmerman Twilight years, all that. So I don't know who my Tiger might be. I think I'm still very fond of. This is probably going to be an underwhelming answer. I'm very fond of Colt Keith. I think he's a good player. I really do. Yeah. He's starting to – he did the same thing last year. He had a tough April. Yeah. May starts to come around. I think Colt Keith is a very good player, and I think he's going to be a good player in this league for a long time. And I really love the deal that we gave him a couple years ago.
Yeah, that longer
6 years for $30 million or whatever. Yes, this is where, dude, baseball is so tough because you see the Shohei Ohtanis, the Vlad Guerreros get their $500 million deals.
Yeah.
And we're facing the Skubal extension, who's going to get, damn near a third of $1 billion, $400 million, right?
Yeah.
But you look at some of these other guys that the way that the MLB works and their service time and they're under control, these guys make like $600K a year for the first 4 years of their career. If you get a guy like Riley Green, he's under team control for 3 more years. He's going to go to arbitration and make $5 million, $7 million, and $10 million, and then be a free agent. Just sign him right now. I'll give you 5 years and $100 million. You make $20 million a year. That's a steep discount from a payroll perspective. And Riley Green has life-changing money and can be a free agent before he's 30 again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'd love to see Scott Harris do some of these things. I don't know. I totally went off on a tangent there.
No, that's okay. I was just.
He's my Tiger. Who's yours?
I'm between two guys for me. One.
Tough place to be.
It is. One, Kerry Carpenter. Love him.
Love Kerry Carpenter.
Kerry Bonds. The bandana.
Yes.
Kerry Carpenter, super faithful guy. I love that he owns
a little bit of
it. Like his walk-up songs, like a Christian song, which I teach catechism.
Psalms, verse 31 at post-game interview. I love it.
Yeah. There's something special about that. He's genuinely himself.
I do too. No, he is
supposed to be a super nice guy on and off the field. I just like the way he plays. He's a pure hitter. Yeah. It's between him and Zach McKinstry for me too.
Ooh,
I think Zach.
I did not peg you for a McKinstry guy.
I think McKinstry has just become this super utility. He's that Don Kelly type player. And if you look at his contract, Steve, I was just looking at this the other night. I was at the game with my
Santiago.
dad.
What was the?
Ramon Santiago.
Ramon Santiago. Yes, that type of player. We love those kind of guys here too.
Right, we love those. I hated Ryan Rayburn, but
fuck Ryan Rayburn.
Exactly. Zach McKinstry will not be an unrestricted free agent until he's like 33 because of service time. He's got like 3 or 4 more years with us. It's insane when these guys come up when they're 27, when they get their shot. They're under club control for 7 years.
That's what crazy. I mean. That's what I mean. Give Zach McKinstry, say, dude, here's $40 million over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's $8 million a year. Go, you're set for life now. You have generational wealth.
Yeah.
And just keep doing your thing, homie. You know what I mean?
I think when we, and then we can jump to the Lions, but when we talk about trade deadline, Steve, you bring up a really good point that I think will be very interesting debate when that trade deadline comes around. If you have a chance to upgrade, let's just say a guy like Zach McKinstry, or a guy like Andy Ibanez, right? Are the Tigers in a position where they would do that and say, we know we're good and average in that position with somebody we like, we want to be great? That's the roll of the dice. It's like I talked about with Dan Campbell, is like, are you going to make a move? Football's a little bit different, but are you going to make a move to put you over the top to be like, we're going from good to great?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying they will or won't, or that's the move that they will make. It'll just be interesting to see where they sit at when the deadline comes around. If they're still rolling, they're going to have hard decisions to make. And that's why we're not GMs and Scott Harris makes the big bucks, because that's the choice you make.
You have to do.
What I mean? So
yeah, I would be interested to see. I don't know if they would. I feel like the Ibanez and McKinstry's of the world would. What's the value in upgrading these type of super utility guys? I think they need a guy that's going to play every day. I would say,
like Alex Bregman.
All right. I think that I would wonder if they go with an outfielder.
Yeah.
Someone to just be an everyday right field, plug Kerry Carpenter at DH.
Yeah.
Right. And then rotate, put him back in the outfield, give the other, whoever you trade for a day. Between him and Torkelson.
Yeah.
Because I think
you do have some depth on the infield.
You got a lot of depth on the infield, but Gleyber Torres is a 1-year deal. So he can be a piece too that's shipped out.
It's true.
Although I've heard, I've heard he's a good locker room guy.
Yeah,
and he's playing pretty well. So
he would be a guy I'd think about if he wanted to come back next year on like a 2 or 3 year deal. I'd be fine with it. But he's going to be hunting for money. Like he's going to go through.
And he can only play second base. That's the thing. Right. He can only play second base.
Yeah.
Torkelson's back in the fold at first. Colt Keith's the second baseman, first baseman. He's already locked down for a couple years. I think Gleyber Torres is going to be the odd man out there. But I would say an upgrade in right field would be legit. I think someone, again, looking at these guys, these buy low candidates. Look at Brian Reynolds out in Pittsburgh. He signed that $80 million contract or whatever it was. Pittsburgh refused to pay him. Finally paid him, and now he's playing like shit. But Pittsburgh sucks.
Right?
Come here, dude, and pressure's off you. Just do your thing.
I agree with you, and I think if the Tigers do make a move, I think it'll be the Omar Infante-esque type move. It'll be a under the radar guy that's got, maybe he's good at one thing. It's like Ibanez is really good pinch hitter. That's what he's good at. Right. He plays solid defense, and that's what he does. He's not going to hit a ton for power, right? He's not going to be your starting everyday third baseman or right fielder, but he's going to have a purpose on this team. It's a puzzle piece. Mm-hmm. What value do you provide to the Tigers by being on this team? And right now, every single person on their roster provides some value in a unique situation to the team. If you don't provide that, you won't be on this team, and that's how they're going to play it. And I think that's smart. But it's been super fun to watch. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and they have the number one farm system in the league too. There's a lot of assets to be moved around. I think you're right. The more that we talk about it, Robbie, I feel like you're probably spot on. And I'm sure you love to hear it. I think you're right. I think you're hitting the nail on the head. I think you're knocking it out of the park.
Thank you. Was it a performance review?
This is your performance review. I think that I think you're right. We're just going to get kind of a complimentary piece, whereas in the off season, once the dust settles, did we extend Skubal? Is Gleyber Torres going away? Are we extending Riley Green? What's Torres' situation? Casey Mize, that's when we're going to do. I think the offseason will be the big trade.
Yeah, I agree.
Where you go and get, oh, shit, did they just get that guy? Kind of, if you guys remember, and you remember, it's one of those things. I remember where I was when we signed Prince Fielder.
Yeah.
And I remember
after Martinez tore his ACL, it was brutal.
Yes.
That was rough.
And I remember
it was a rough 48 hours.
I was at work at Team Detroit, and I picked my phone up, and I saw that. And I was like, I dropped my phone on my desk, and my jaw dropped, and my phone slipped out of my hands. I was
oh my gosh, that's hilarious!
I was like, we just fucking signed Prince Fielder.
Maybe, hey, Mike Ilitch, R.I.P. Man. That was all Mike. Steve, you just brought something up I meant to bring up tonight, and then we can jump into the Lions, and I know we have to.
Yeah,
there was a lot of talk on radio today, Twitter, whatever. People were talking about like your top, like walk-off or big hit moments that you remember in like Tigers history. Because some were saying for them last night, they're going to remember where they were with that bias shot. Again, I don't know. I think we've lived through some great moments for the Tigers. But anyways, I have a couple, but just off the cup, do you like what what's your like one or two? It could be a walk-off or it could just be like a big homer. Maybe they end up losing the game, whatever, but you just remember the moment. Do you have any that stick out for you, top of mind for the Tigers?
Dude, a bunch. Obviously, I think Maglio is the big one.
The 1-0.
Yes, you can't.
It's way back. The Tigers
Placido
are going
Polanco
to the World
and his,
Series.
And his fucking watermelon head bobbling all around
love
the
that
places.
guy. Huge head.
Enormous head. There's that one. I remember a Rajai Davis grand slam. I think we ended up losing that game, but I think he tied it up.
No, we
won. No, that was a walk-off.
Game.
That was a walk-off grand slam. That's right.
2014. That was on my list too.
Yeah, so that was a good one. And then I remember vividly, I don't know the game specifically, but I remember in like 2013, maybe it was, or no, it was like 2011. I think it was before we signed Prince Fielder. And the Tigers were just running away with the Central Division. It was middle of summer. It was like July. And Miggy was having his MVP season. And we were down. We had won like 12 straight games or something like that. And Miggy hit a go-ahead homer. And it was like his 33rd homer in the year. And it was July 10th or something crazy.
That's awesome.
That one. And then my final one, I think the one that is the most for me is JD Martinez coming off the DL. That first pitch.
Come on.
Damn it.
That was it. You snuck that last one in there.
I'm sorry. You asked the question. God. There's so many. What else you got? Give me another one. I'm sure you got more.
That was it. That was the JD one I'll never remember. I'll never forget. Chris Sale, 8th inning. Mario and Rod were on the call. If you remember, Rob was like, man, this place is loud. They might go nuts if he hits it out. And then literally just nukes it. The other one I have in here too that the Tigers ended up ultimately losing was Miguel Cabrera hitting a game-tying home run in New York late at night against Mariano Rivera. Austin Jackson had doubled to get to second base. I don't know if you remember. It was like a 12-pitch at bat. Miggy got hit in the leg twice. He fouled it off his foot like twice, could barely stand, and ends up hitting a 2-run shot to tie it. We end up losing in the 10th, of course, but I'll never forget watching that game. I was actually playing poker with my buddy Ryan. It was like 3 a.m. It was like by the time the game ended, and it was it was insane.
So
it was so shitty that we lost, but it's those
one
moments.
of those moments you won't.
Because like the Mags homer, I remember. It's just I was in high school at the time. It just was a different time of like sport fanship. You know what I mean? When you're in high school, there's just a lot of other stuff going on. Like now that I'm an adult, I feel like there's just way more that I remember.
Yeah, you're leaned in a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, you have the.
Did you hear it?
Right here.
Yeah, I can hear it. JD, baby.
Sale goes to work.
What about this place? Yeah.
Rod, huh? This is my favorite. And gone. And he mashed that ball too.
Oh my gosh.
First pitch.
Against Chris Sale, who was at the time, obviously for the Sox, was just
he was incredible. He was something else.
That was at his peak, yeah. But anyways, I just thought that was fun to
yeah, that's a great one. The JD one is is tops for me though.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's so funny we picked that same one. It's hilarious.
It changes you. It brings you back to the Mario and Rod days too.
Yeah,
because you heard it right there. That little, although they hated each other and fought over a chair. The banter of Mario. This will go crazy if they hit it out here. Rod goes, huh?
Yeah.
Then it happens.
I mean, it's like second deck. You'll just never I like Benetti. There's just so much rotation now that happens. It's just different on the calls, and those guys were there every night, right? There was no question.
Yes.
It was Rod and Mario, game in, game out. There wasn't. We got Todd Jones coming in or Craig Monroe last year. Whoops,
I see. Yep.
Yeah, oops, but yeah. So, anyways,
I see you, big fella. Little Rod.
Just some great.
They should come back. I don't know what they're doing now, but they should come back.
I actually got for my mother-in-law. I got you could do what's the thing where you pay for somebody to like write you a message?
Cameo. You got her a cameo.
Yeah. It was from Dan Dickerson actually did it, and it was
that's cool. Yeah.
He was just like, "Happy birthday," and it was it was awesome. But that's why I like the Benetti call, the Dickerson call, even from last night. Like whatever happens this season, those are moments in sports you don't forget. Like even transitioning to the Lions, Steve. Like I know I talk about the NFC title game that we lost. Like I'll never, ever, ever forget that first half with my dad, ever. It will be forever ingrained in my mind. Win or lose, it's still an awesome moment. And like, that's why I think too, when we look at like fast transition to the Lions, but we look at what happened last year with them going 15-2. Sure, they lost in the playoffs, but like, I wouldn't trade back the regular season that we had. It was sick. Like, those Sundays were awesome to watch those games. Like the Bates 62-yarder or whatever against Houston, barely hugging the inside post, like at midnight when we were down like 28 points.
Yeah, it felt
like,
special.
That's what you remember. Obviously, you hope you followed up with the Super Bowl or a World Series or whatever that makes it sweeter when those moments happen in the season. But anyways, so Lions NFL schedule officially dropped. We knew the opponents. We just didn't know the official schedule. But like TLDR for those that haven't seen, big news here is 5 primetime games. You got 2 Monday Night Football games. They're going to be at Ravens, at the Bucks. 2 Sunday Night Football games at Chiefs, at Eagles, and a Thursday night after Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. They have 12 Lions games are currently slated to be nationally televised, which is crazy. So only the Bears week 2, Browns week 4, Vikings, and Giants are the only games that will not be nationally televised. That's insane.
That's wild. Do you want to go through these games? Like, want to just do win-loss?
Yeah. Okay. We can take a look.
Yeah, let's go through it, because I just kind of glanced at this earlier today, or while I was putting my son down.
Yeah, the schedule. Here's the thing. Steve, I don't know how much you listen to Wilson and I chatting too. Be like, before we go through this, is like, I'd be curious your take, because I know Wilson has his thoughts of like, we were 15-2 last year. 14, 13 wins. Like, I just don't think. I think what happened last year is a once in a decade type thing to win 15 freaking games, and we ended up losing in the you know what I mean? Like, before we even got to the NFC title game. So like, the regular season was great, but I'm okay with winning 12 games and being, whether it's more rested or more healthy, or like feeling like we got that little bit of that grit back, or that like we're like the pressure's off, whatever it is, like whatever we got to do to get that dog mentality back. I'm less worried about the record as much as I am about like, I'd like a home playoff game, obviously. And I want to be going into the playoffs healthy and like, feeling like we are like just a galvanized team that we like, kind of like we did the year before last year, where last year it was kind of like so much nerves, or when are we going to lose, like as the expectations ramped up. But I'm just like, before we jump into the schedule, I'm curious your take on like, what's your expectation for the Lions this year, from like, whether it's a win total or just in general, knowing where we're at with the offseason pretty much complete now.
Yeah, I think you're going to take a step back from 15 wins. That's almost inevitable. You can't. I don't think you're going to be able to repeat it. I definitely don't think you're going to be able to eclipse it. So 15 or more wins, I think if you're on that train, you can pound sand, because that's just not realistic. This schedule is brutal, dude.
Third hardest in all of football.
It's insane. So I just expect, I want health. Ali McNeil is going to be gone till week 10?
Yeah, he's going to be out till Thanksgiving probably.
Yeah, probably exactly. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a grind. Aiden's coming back, obviously, but that's a pretty big injury. He might not be 100%.
Yeah, as expected, dude broke his friggin' leg.
Yeah, he might. And when I say not 100%, I don't think he's going to still be injured. I think he's going to tap the brakes a little bit in camp. It's going to take him a few weeks to get up to game speed. He's not going to have that tremendous start like he did this year when he was getting 3 sacks a game or whatever it was.
And I think mentally too, it's like a guy when he tears his Achilles or something, right? It's like, sure, the physical.
You have to trust your leg a little bit.
Exactly.
You have to learn to retrust that leg. Yeah.
Like, think about that. Aiden's turning on that leg too, right? It's that, like, when he's going to make his move like that, there's a lot of weight that goes on those legs when you're trying to pivot. A lot of force. Right? Yeah.
It's like the torque that you put on your bones and your joints when you're that big, that athletic, and that fast.
Yes, that's going to take some mental to be able to lean on that, to be like, no, it's going to be all right. It's going to be good, right? It's like when you break your arm and it's in a cast and you got to get back to like using it again. That's the same. Yep. It's the same concept.
Yeah. What do they measure torque in? Is it like foot pounds?
Yeah.
Right. How many foot pounds of torque is he putting on?
A lot.
Probably a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I got the schedule up. Yeah. What are you thinking? You got week 1 at Green Bay, 4:25 CBS game, national televised game, week 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Lions favored in this one. I think I saw 1.5. I think was the spread so far. I mean, it's very early.
1.5 is tough spread. You got to win here or lost.
Yeah. I'll say a dub.
Okay, that's what I got.
Just start the year. Packers. Packers are a tough game either way. We've obviously had their number the last couple of years, but I think Jordan Love was obviously injured last year. They have a ton of changes this year. The biggest thing for the Lions to me at the start of the schedule is how quickly are they going to be able to pick up with the new coordinators? That's a huge, huge thing. Like, is Morton going to be able to roll right with Ben Johnson calls that he had? Is it going to take some time with Goff? I just think with the run game, they played well historically in Lambeau. It's not like this is going to be in the middle of December or something.
Yeah, this is going to be I think this is going to be a more boring game. It's going to be a defense game. I think the defense is going to show out a little bit here.
Yeah. So I would say
I'm taking the win.
Yeah.
Week 2, we got Chicago. Chicago at home, our home opener, 1:00. I'm taking the dub here too. I think Ben Johnson gets his nuts kicked by this home crowd.
I think these first 2 games, I think there's going to be. Listen, we lost. We got our ass kicked last year against Washington. Say what you will. That was
we got waxed.
We got rolled.
Yeah.
These first 2 games are Dan Campbell games. Like, I expect them to come out that first game and have some energy to them, and there has got to be the Benedict Johnson factor in week 2, right?
Oh yeah, there's got to be. You got to kill.
That's not there, especially at home. There's got to be some juice to that game, and knowing the rest of the schedule too, Steve, that we'll run through. These wins early on are going to fucking matter.
Gonna be key.
You got a hard first 6 games.
Yep, because you go into week 3 Monday night at Baltimore.
This is probably obvious. I'm taking the loss. We don't stop running quarterbacks. Lamar kicked your ass last time we played out there 2 years ago and rolled us 42-0 or whatever the hell it was.
I don't think it'll be an ass kicking like that. I don't think we're going to be on the receiving or giving end of an ass kicking. I think it's going to be tight.
Yep.
And I don't think that's a tough Monday night, tough time to play.
Especially in Baltimore.
In Baltimore, yeah.
It's early.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Okay, but we come back the next week versus Cleveland at home. Cleveland's going to be throwing.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Can we please win this game?
We have to win this game. This is a definitely.
Yeah. See, there's not even an option of will we win. This is a must win.
No. Yeah, you're not having.
Of the first 4 games that I would be comfortable losing, this is the one that I would not be comfortable losing and feel.
This would be a devastating loss. This would be. They're going to be tossing Dan Lefevre out there at quarterback.
Yeah. Shout out Dan Lefevre.
Dan Lefevre.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Fire up chips.
Yeah, he was in we had a finance class together.
We love that.
Yep.
Love that. Okay, so they're 3-1 heading into
and then
the Bungles.
The Bungholes, another 4:25 America's Game of the Week on Fox.
Yeah,
at Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati. This one's tough, dude. Burrow's tough. They got good receivers.
I know. I think
I don't know on this one.
I'm going to take the win here because I think Cincinnati's broken. You look at some of the drama surrounding this team, the way they couldn't buy a win last year.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow is, he doesn't have much protection up front. You can have all the great receivers in the world, but they need to protect their $500 million investment.
Yeah.
In Joe Burrow, and I don't think they do a good job at that. And then aside from, all the off-field contract stuff with Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, what a joke. Yeah, especially if he's not there.
T. Higgins had the same issue. Like, it's just too.
Let's not play our all-pro defensive end. Let's go ahead and pay our double receiver.
Yeah.
Sick. Because that'll work out really well for you. That's great.
Or if you're not going to do it, if you're not going to do it, just trade the man. Just get a deal, take what you can for it, and just say we're going to move on because I don't want a deal. Yeah. Oh, they're a brutal organization.
I also think Zach Taylor to me is going to be on the hot seat if they don't. If they start off slow, I would not be surprised to see them jettison him if he does. If they get off to some 3-5 start again, I can 100% see them firing Taylor.
Yep.
Like, we're well removed from the Super Bowl at this point. Very disappointing year last year. But yes, okay. So you're saying there? Dub? Yeah, I'll say dub.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Sunday night, another national game. The next week at Kansas City.
Nope. Mm-mm. Steve, honestly, Steve, the reason I say that is because based on the schedule is right now, we have them, 5-1 heading into that game.
Yeah.
You're
right.
odds of them going 6-2. I'm sorry, 4-2 at that point, right? Because we got them over the Bears, over the Packers.
Yeah.
That's 2-0. Lost to the Ravens, they're 2-1. Beat the Browns 3-1. Beat the Bengals 4. Okay, so they're 4-1 playing the Chiefs. I just think.
I think water finds its level there. I think you're right.
I think it'll be a close game.
It's 4-2.
It'll be a close game. Yep.
And then Monday night, man, another primetime game. This is, dude. I didn't realize the amount.
Bucks, bro. God,
I'm tired of paying the Bucks, and I'm kind of tired of playing Monday Night Football, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like those games must be just going so fucking late into the night, man. I got to get up early the next day. Like, that's
Look
brutal.
What time that's on, too, Steve. That's
7
p.m., or that means they're doing the back-to-back that night, so they got the early game, which is good for bedtime purposes. But
true, yes, good for my old ass. But
I hate when they do the double Monday night game. That second one doesn't start till like 9 o'clock, 9:30, which is brutal. I'll say we'll beat the Bucks. I mean, they've played us really fucking hard. To me, though, it's just Lions don't lose back to back. I don't know how many times they've done it since Campbell's been the coach. So they got a bye coming up the following week.
I think this is a loss. I just don't.
Okay.
Baker has the numbers, and I'm taking the loss here. I think this is one of the games that you just don't. You don't expect to drop it, and you drop it. Yeah. So then we got week 8's the bye again.
So they're 4-3 heading into the bye.
Yeah, I got 4-3. You got 5 and 2.
Yeah.
Another early-ish bye week, but then Vikings at home. It's going to be JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
That's going to be it's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
That's tough. I take the win there.
Yeah, I think I'm the same.
Okay, cool. I like that about you.
Yeah.
And then
mostly just because it's rookie quarterback. Again, I think this schedule could look really hard right now and look super easy. If these teams suck, it could go the other way too.
It could get exponentially worse or better very quickly. The next week, Sunday, America's Game of the Week again. Washington Commanders. I think we get redemption there as well.
Ooh, I am taking the loss there. I think. Mm-hmm. I think Jaden Daniels, that's in Washington. That's a really tough place to play.
I think he has a sophomore slump.
Okay. Wow. Love that.
Yep.
Bold. Put it on the board.
Put sophomore it on it. Slump. Yeah. Sophomore slump for Jaden Daniels.
Sophomore slump. Okay.
And then Sunday night again. My God, these national games are just insane. At Philly. I think that's a loss, but I almost want to pencil it in for a win. I think that's a statement game. You're taking the dub? Okay.
I'm taking the dub.
Good for you, dude.
I almost think the Commanders could be a look-ahead game, which is also why I think it could be a loss the week before. I think they know they're going to Philly. Lions and Philly, there's just no love lost there. They do not like each other. I think Sirianni and Campbell couldn't be more fucking different guys.
Yep.
Philly plays super similar to us. Just run game and
going to be a good matchup. I think that stretch of games here, Minnesota, Washington, and Philly, we take 2. So it could be Washington and Philly. We could be Minnesota and Philly. So I think we take 2 or 3 there, but I'm going to pencil in the loss for Philly. Yep. Sunday, 1 o'clock game, snooze fest, the New York Giants. I'm taking the dub.
You already know our answer here. This is similar to
ridiculous.
Week 4. Yep. This would fall into my second most game that we must win or else I'm angry.
Yep. And then we have Thanksgiving, the Green Bay Packers. I think we're getting a win there too.
I'm going to take a loss there on the Packers at home.
Okay.
I think Green Bay's tough. I know it's Thanksgiving.
Green Bay's tough.
Again, I hate to do the look ahead thing, but they got Packers on Thanksgiving, then they got the Cowboys coming up on the following Thursday night game. I think that could be a bit of a look ahead spot. They're going to be targeting Dallas still, even what happened a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. So I will take a loss to the Packers purely just because I think we're going to lose some division games. I think it's unrealistic to think we're going to go.
Oh, sure. So. Yep. And then we have Dallas. We're winning that game.
Yeah, I'll take a dub there.
Yeah, Dallas sucks, dude.
Yeah,
they are not. They're so incredibly overrated. Jerry Jones doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Yep.
couldn't find his head from his asshole.
No.
Then we got December 14th at the Rams, 425.
What's your record at right now?
I'm at 9 wins already. I think we're both at 9.
We're both at 9.
9 wins with 4 games left.
Yeah.
I think I'll just put it this way. I think of these last 4, I think we go 2-2.
Yeah.
Because the Rams have not been able to beat us. I think they finally take one, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh sucks the next week.
Yeah.
So let me know what are you thinking for the Rams?
Looking at the rest of the schedule, I guess I'll say loss there to the Rams just because, again, Steve, I felt coming into this year we're looking at that 11 to 12 wins. That's kind of where I think we're at. So if I just go off of that combination, then we're going 2-2 here. So if I say, let's say beat the Rams, beat the Steelers, lose Vikings, Bears, however it is you want to swing it, like depending on where seeding's locked up in the playoffs. Like, again,
yeah,
I think the best of those teams is probably Rams, Vikings, Bears, Steelers, in that order is what I would put. So I just think we're going 2-2 in that stretch.
Yep.
And I think we're going to finish with 11 wins. Best case, we go 12. Worst case, I could see us at 10. It just depends how.
Yeah, I think best case we go 13.
Yeah.
Worst case 10. But I think 11 or 12 is where we're going to go.
Vegas has us at 10.5, and I think
we'll be at 11.
That number feels right to me. That's not a coincidence that's where we sit with this schedule. Because don't forget, we're going to have the target on our back too. And I think this will be another test starting the year. Got a really, really hard first half before the bye. I mean, Packers solid, Bears solid, Ravens solid, Bengals, Chiefs, and Bucks outside of the Browns.
Tough games.
Those are you look at that. Packers, playoff team. Ravens, playoff team. Bengals, playoff team. Chiefs, playoff team. Bucks, playoff team.
Yeah.
That's your first
it's tough.
your first 7 games, 6 are playoff teams.
I think, you're going to go probably you're going to if you can go 5-2 in that stretch, that's great.
Yeah. I mean,
4-3 is still I'm happy with it.
For sure. I can make an argument where we finished last year, you go 500 in that and you're just sitting and then you're lining up for Viking, Commander, Eagles. Like, that's just how the season could go.
Yeah.
It could have to be that Vikings-Bears game to end the year.
There's very few cakewalks. I think just New York, which again, these could be trap games. New York and Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Games we should really easily win, but hey.
Right. Because if you look at these games, week 2, Bears, look-ahead game is the Ravens the following week.
Yep.
You have Bengals on a Sunday, look-ahead game, the Chiefs the next week. You have Commanders, look-ahead game, great, the Eagles. You know what I mean? You got Giants, look-ahead Thanksgiving, then you got the Cowboys after that. Like, that's and how about we're playing on Christmas Day?
I was going to – okay, so I needed to talk about this because I don't like this at all.
Me neither. I don't want to play on Christmas Day, bro. I want to be with Santa and do my thing.
Dude, Christmas is my time. I'm like I'm like that old man in Succession where he's like, I fucking love it. That's how I am about Christmas. Dude, I want the Yule log on. I want to have a White Russian.
Roasting on an open fire.
I want to eat a prime rib. I want to have not a worry in the world. And then you know what I like to do? When my wife's taking a little appetizer on the couch after the kids are in bed, and I'm just left to my own devices, drinking by myself late Christmas night, I like to turn on the NBA. Little Nuggets Thunder, nightcap, right? Yeah. Something that I can just tune into until I don't want to tune into it anymore.
Yeah.
There's no emotion to it. I'm just like, let's watch this good basketball game because I'm a basketball fan. And then I turn it off and go to bed.
Yeah.
And I can't do that this year. The stress of having to have that game is going to ruin my Christmas, win or lose.
I agree. Like, we normally host Christmas too. And so now I was telling my wife, like, okay, so now let's say everyone's coming over at 4 for like dinner. It's like, we're going to have to back this thing up, make this bad boy a brunch because I'm not sitting there at 5:20 talking with people at the table of like what a great year we have ahead of us when it's 3rd and 7 and the Lions are down 3 with like 2 minutes to go. Like I'm out. I'm not going to be my best self and most present on Christmas, which that's one of the few days that we are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you know how it is with all the hustle and bustle. That's why I love the holiday time.
We're fortunate the holidays, dude. I'll put on Wham! Last Christmas this month probably just to get some good vibes going.
And we are fortunate enough to both have jobs that do not require us to be working on Christmas. It's not like we're retail and some of these other things. So
Right.
In general, though, that comes at a cost. At other times of the year, it's very hard for us to disconnect. And Christmas is one of those times, whatever holiday you celebrate around New Year's and that time of the year, Hanukkah, whatever the hell it is, like I don't want to have to watch my team. If there wants to be an NFL game, great. I'll watch Dallas Commanders on Christmas. Sick. I'll put it on, no problem.
Right. Yes. I will put it on at my leisure.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You know, I'll tell you what, my mom is going to be so pissed on Christmas because we go to her house, we do brunch at our house in the morning, and then we go to my parents' house, and that's like our family's time where it's just us. That's and tough, my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law's coach at Northwood. Yep. Shout out Timbies. Ow, love it. Ow, ow, ow. Right. Nice. And you like that? You got some big bad wolf in me. And so between my brother-in-law, me, and my dad, we are going to be football Lions. Yeah, my mom is going to be livid. She is not going to be happy with the NFL. She might call, and she's the type of person that would do that. She might call Roger Goodell. She might find a way to get in touch with him. Ooh. She has that type of ability to hunt people down, like find information. So that might happen. But I don't like the Christmas game sucks, dude. This is just I just don't think it's necessary. I'm really glad we don't have an international game this year either. Oh, brutal. Yes. Or like the Vikings have to be overseas for a week and a half or whatever it is to play 2 back-to-back games.
Love that.
I do love that for us.
Luck.
Yeah.
JJ, enjoy everybody wearing like some jersey that's not even theirs that they gave him at Stadium.
They might as well just show up with NFL shirts.
It's
right.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the NFL chasing down the money.
It's so pathetic.
It'll be Steve. I don't know, man. Like this NFL season's got me. This is going to be a first. Last year was different. This is going to be the real first year where I'm like that. We're going to learn a lot about this team this year because this is Super Bowl or bust, man. This is like there's no way around it. Last year was like, how are we going to do coming off? We're 15-2. We had like. I don't care about the regular season this year. You get in the dance.
You get in the dance and you show what you're made of.
Get me back to the NFC title game. Yes, get me back to the NFC title game. That's what I want this year. Get us at least to that moment so we can be on this pod saying we're 60 minutes away from a Super Bowl again. That's what I want.
Yep.
That is exactly. That to me is success or failure is going to come off of that. And this schedule is going to be tough. If we go 11 wins and we still win the division, which I think is very much possible, and we're not the number 1 seed.
You certainly could win the division with 11.
Right. But like I'm actually looking forward to playing some of these teams. Like we're going to know this year. Eagles, Rams, Chiefs, Bucks, Ravens, like that is the best of the best. This is the best that the NFL has to offer. And they're going to have a target on their back. And I just hope we can maybe rekindle some of the, dog mentality here, the underdog mentality. Cause I don't know about you. I feel like we play better when we are like hunting versus being the hunted. I just think Campbell can play off of that adversity.
Yes.
It's like we said in that Dallas game the year.
It takes all the pressure off.
Right. Like that Dallas game when they lost on that Decker that should have been a 2-point. That changed the outlook of that season. They didn't get the number 1 seed, but they came out with a vengeance after that. They were angry versus this year. I think we just were a little soft going into that game. We were injured and a little bit soft, felt like we deserved it.
I think that mentality felt a little
fragile.
I can't put my goddamn
so a podcast
words together. Is
a lot about words, which means it's really important for you to be able to articulate
your mouth and your face.
Yes,
it felt a little fabricated. That mentality felt fabricated this year, right? In the sense that once the injuries started to pile up. Yeah, it was like, we're still this. We still have this mentality, but in the back of everyone's minds, they were like, "This is gonna be fucking hard."
Yeah, it's different when you can do it. It's different. I've said this all along, being an athlete my whole life. It is very different when you go from like competing not to lose versus competing to win. It is a very, very different mentality because when you play not to lose, you don't have the same edge as someone playing to win. It's a little bit more apprehensive. You saw it with Goff in that playoff game. He didn't want to make the big mistake, and he ended up making a shit ton of them.
Yes.
Because he was trying to do too much. And I think that Campbell's going to have to fight that this year, and it's
going to be tough.
That's why, but that's what makes it. That's what makes it great. And like I said, until then, we enjoy enjoy this Tigers run. Hopefully it's a great one, and then we just roll right into Lions, and it'll be here before we know it. Summer's going to fly by, and it's going to be August, and we're going to be talking about training camp before we know it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that sneaks up on me every year.
Yeah.
So I know we're getting close to we're over an hour here. We want to wrap. I want one quick question for you.
Ooh.
What was the most surprising thing that you saw in sports this week?
Wow. In all of sports, huh?
Yes.
I would say it's got to be NBA. I'll say I'm between the Celtics and the Cavs here.
Okay, yeah.
I would say the most surprising thing is I did not see the Indiana Cavs series going down the way it did to me.
I did not have Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals on my bingo card.
I thought the Cavs. I think maybe I overvalued them with the wins, obviously, and I'm really glad Kenny Atkinson won Coach of the Year. Clearly, well deserving of that with his team losing in the second round.
So terrible.
But yeah, that was it. It was really how Donovan Mitchell showed up and nobody else did for the Cavs is what was shocking to me. Of like, what does a team like that do now?
Yes. I think between them and Boston, they're going to have some tough decisions to make.
Yeah.
And the Pistons, Boston's screwed. Cooked, man. They are going to have. But my most surprising thing is.
Yeah, what's yours?
The Dallas Mavericks getting the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. What a fucking joke.
How did we not talk about this till now? I'm embarrassed that we didn't.
It's pathetic. How do you look at that and say there's not some insider trading going on, right? Martha Stewart's running.
Dude, you can't. I was listening to Bill Simmons this week. I'm a big Bill Simmons guy.
Yeah.
He was he's obviously a big Simmons or Bill Simmons is a big Celtics guy, obviously. Mm-hmm. So he was feeling the like, I can't talk about Tatum, I hope he's okay and all that. It was like, dude, okay, he's clearly tore his Achilles. Can we just get through it? Like any moron knew that. But anyways, he was just going through him and Ryan Russillo were going through the like top NBA draft like conspiracies, like Patrick Ewing draft back in the day where it was the envelopes. They said it was like a frozen envelope. That's why they picked it. The Cleveland years.
Cleveland for getting LeBron is another. I think that was a conspiracy.
Yeah. New Orleans getting Zion when it's like the NBA is going to take over your team, right? Didn't they like negate a trade? Then they find a new owner, and what do you know? They finally find a new owner, and 2 months later they get the number 1 pick and they get Zion. Like, come on.
Yes, I know.
And I get they don't want to have like the worst team get the first pick so you don't have tanking, but fine. Then take the 3 worst teams and one of them is 1 and the worst you can do is 3. It's ridiculous.
Oh, how we had 5 every year that we had the worst record except for the Cade year. That was, again, I think rigging to the point like, well, we don't want to have Detroit get a top pick again because they have been this bad. There's definitely a level of control going on.
For sure.
And it's just ridiculous the fact that they trade the best player to the Lakers as kind of that successor for LeBron.
Yeah.
To have their next star.
Yeah.
Right. That's just what the Lakers, they always have their stars. Now they have their next superstar. And in return, you get Cooper Flag. Here you go.
Which is kind of crazy if you look at Dallas now about that fan base. If Kyrie would not, I think Kyrie tore his Achilles right at the end of the year or whatever. Like, had he not done that, and you look at what that lineup would have been now with Flag, Davis, Flag, Klay Thompson, Kyrie, Derek Lively or whoever it is, like
it could be okay, right? It could be all right.
They could be solid, or like they're saying, like, do you make it? Like, what if they say we want to make a trade? Like, let's say they want to trade Cooper Flag and go get it. Like, they got options.
I don't think they're trading Cooper Flag. But
all I'm saying is they like, if you're their fan base and you look at what happened to Luka in the playoffs too, dude, Luka looked like me and you out there playing. He was dead. Yeah. He looked out of shape, lethargic.
Definitely
he played
like
like
me
ass.
Then.
No, he looked like me. Come on, you're way more.
No.
He definitely didn't look like Wilson. Let's be clear. He did not look like Wilson.
Few guys can.
God, there's so many things I want to talk about, Steve. Like, shit, Jalen Brunson's really fucking good.
Jalen Brunson is really good.
God, he's good. And Oklahoma City, great.
The Celtics will probably get the number 1 pick next year because Tatum will be out. They'll lose 60 games.
Probably. Like, Were you pulling for New York or Boston in that series?
It's tough because I hate both teams so much.
I know, me too. My dad was like, no matter what, I cannot pull for Boston. That's just like 1980s, 90s.
Yeah,
like,
I pulled for.
No
I think
way.
I pulled a little bit for New York just because, like, okay, we're out. It would be cool to see a fan base that hasn't won it in a long time win it.
Yeah,
but I mean, this NBA Finals is going to be good. Or whoever ends up going. Oklahoma City they look good, but man, they're so young. That's a team that I think is going to make a big move this offseason. They almost have to. They can't afford to take on 2 more 19-year-old kids in the draft this year, or for the next 8 years, however many drafts they got.
but like it could be mini OKC versus New York and Indiana.
Yeah.
Like, think about one of those teams is going to win the title.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Boston ended up winning tonight, which I did not see that happening at all.
Oh, I know.
I thought they were
just dead. I thought they were absolutely dead.
But like, they're going to blow up this offseason. They're probably going to. They're at the second apron too. They got nothing. Like, they got to shed money. They got new owners. They're way over the cap.
Boston is dead. They are financially dead.
Which means Pistons got their window, huh? This is the window.
I feel like I was talking to my boy Rich. I know I bring Rich up on this podcast a lot.
Okay, you bring up Rich.
Yeah,
you bring up Rich. I bring up Billy.
And I bring up you guys to Rich. Yeah, because he doesn't listen as much as I wish he would. Yeah,
Billy's a big time listener, so Rich has got to get his shit together.
Okay, yeah, I'll harp on a little bit.
Yeah,
but we talked about it the other day. I think they're going to make a good move. I don't think they're going to trade for Kevin Durant or Devin Booker or one of these huge moves, but I think they're going to make a solid move.
I want Booker. We've talked about this.
Yeah, I know. I want Booker too. I want Jaren Jackson Jr. the most, but that would be probably the biggest move that they would make, and I don't think they'll make it.
You're a big JJJ guy.
Oh yeah, 3J. Wow. Yeah. Why not?
That's your guy. Triple J.
That's my guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's my guy.
I love it.
So,
all right. Cool. Well, we've talked forever and gone on 3,000 topics, but this was great.
Yeah, this is fun. Had a good time.
Also, Wilson was not here. We should have said that up front. But
Wilson's not here today.
Yeah. But that's okay. Steve, it was good to have you back.
Yeah. What if we were just like, Wilson got anything to say, and he just said, "Yeah, no, I agree with everybody."
Guys, if it was 30 seconds to go in a game, I got to make 10 free throws. I'm making 10. That's what Wilson would say.
That's what he would say.
And then he's going to go back to his hotel room and watch Coach Carter and be happy with himself.
He's probably breaking down. He's breaking down film for the Indiana Pacers right now.
Probably, yeah.
Well,
make sure rate, review, subscribe, follow us on videos.
Comment. We like the comments, man. We like to see what y'all think and have to say about us.
We've been lackluster on the socials, which is my fault. So I got to get back on that. But yeah, Steve, you got to start carrying some weight.
I know. Okay? I need to.
We got to step it up.
I need to.
Anyways.
But we got the new feature on this thing. I think we can turn us into babies.
Love that.
So we'll try that out. We'll see.
If we can wait, so you can turn me into Karl Anthony Towns on here? Sick. Love that.
Yeah.
Turn me into cat? I dig it.
I like that.
But it was great. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yep. We'll catch you next time. We'll catch you next time on Take the Points.
A true underdog gritty podcast.
Peace.
See ya.